Hey everybody, I just thought I would take a few moments here and shoot a little bit of video of one of my African Dwarf Frogs. I've always bought them under the name of African Dwarf Clawed Frog, but either is acceptable. They do actually have little tiny claws on their back feet, and you will see them occasionally labeled as African Dwarf Clawed Frogs, but these are definitely dwarfs. This is full grown. His body is maybe an inch and a half long total, and then you can add the back legs on. They are fully aquatic. They don't need any land, but they're not great swimmers, so they really should not be in very deep water because, like all frogs, they have to come to the surface occasionally to get a little gulp of air. So they recommend not putting these in tanks more than 10 or 12 inches deep, and I have this in my 29, and it's a little deeper than that, but I've never had any issues with these frogs at all. I've got two of them in this tank. I'm looking around, I don't see the other one, but I know I have two of them. And one of the concessions I made for this frog, or these frogs I should say, is I built myself a little piece of wood with some plants on it. So if the frog wants to, it can stay on that, and it has a very short journey to the surface, and in fact I do see it sitting up on top of that on occasion. If you've got a small tank, like a 10-gallon tank, you don't even need to worry about making something like that. Let's see if he's still out. There he is. He's making his way into the back now. But they're awesome little pets. I really enjoy them a lot. They add a lot of interest to the tank. They're easy to maintain and take care of. You could just see it was up here eating a little bit of Hymenochirus algae wafer. They will eat bloodworms like crazy. They eat flake food. I would imagine if you had any little detritus worms in your tank or anything, they would probably go after them. They're just interesting little animals that just poke around the bottom of the tank, cleaning it up. Very easy to feed, very easy to care for, as long as you've got it in a well-maintained and well-aerated tank. Now remember, they are amphibians, so they're very sensitive to anything like medications. Don't try to put one in an uncycled tank or a tank that's having issues with the ammonia spikes or nitrite spikes or anything like that. They're going to be very much more sensitive to those sorts of things than a scaled fish would be, because these are amphibians. They do absorb a lot of oxygen and chemicals and everything right through their skin. I have heard them sing on occasion. I haven't heard it in a long time, but if you get the right mix of male and female in the tank, presumably at least one of each, you will hear them quietly singing. Pretty little chirping sound will be coming out of the tank. It took me a while to figure out where it was coming from. When I first started keeping fish, I bought a bunch of these just because of the novelty of them. I liked them so much. And one night I just kept hearing the singing, and I was going around the basement. I thought it was some kind of strange cricket or something. It was real similar to that, but it was just sounded sort of distant and muffled. And eventually I zeroed in on it and found out it was coming from this tank. And it was two of these in there, and they were just chirping away. So they will sing occasionally, and it's pretty neat. So once again, it's just an interesting little inhabitant in any aquarium, provided you don't have really aggressive fish or fish that would eat something small like this. I wouldn't try putting one of these in a tank with an Oscar or anything like that. You probably wouldn't have it very long. But if you've got it in a polite little community tank with neons and white Cloud Mountain Minnows and some Skirt Tetras, you'll be fine. I even have angelfish in this tank, and of course something like a frog on the bottom wouldn't really be on an angelfish's diet. But you can see they're pretty bold. They're not timid at all. He's trying to push that rubber lip out of the way to get to that algae wafer. I love the way they get really close and then they kick hard and dash forward to grab a bite of something. Really, really interesting little animals. So I definitely recommend them. You can usually get these at the big chain pet stores. I know that's where I get all mine. And they're $3 or $4 a piece, something like that. They're not expensive at all. They're very common, very easy to get. and they make an interesting little addition for your aquarium if you're looking for something a little bit unusual. Remember, they are fully aquatic. They do not need a partially, land anywhere in the tank. They don't need anything floating on the surface. They won't come up out of the water even if you do have something floating on the surface. They're fully aquatic. They will stay in the water all the time. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. You never know what you're going to get with me. I always throw something out there. I try to do at least a video every day. So thanks again for watching this one. Don't forget, this is my 29-gallon miscellaneous tank. I got a round the world update coming up real soon, so you don't want to miss that either. Thanks again. See you real soon on the next one.